Welcome back. This is SS Media TV. If you are just joining us, we are back to our normal program that is called Our Education System. And today here we have a very important topic that is called the structure of our education system. And with me here today, I have two gentlemen who I will be discussing with an amazing and a wonderful topic called the structure of our education system. Before I will go further, this gentleman will introduce themselves for the audience and our wonderful viewers. Then I will start from the right side.
Thank you so much, wonderful listeners. My name is Usman Bajo. I'm from Education for Future Academy, the Gambia. I'm the program officer and the head teacher of that institution. Thank you.
That is wonderful introduction from our humble guest Usman Bajo from Education for Future Academy. On my left side, I have another gentleman who need to introduce himself for the wonderful viewers.
Thank you so much. My name is Abubakar Jawara, and I'm the founder and CEO of MDR, Make Dream Reality. And it's an honor to be here. Thank you so much.
Yeah, today we will have amazing program because we have two founders here, the founder of Future Academy and the founder of MDR, Dream Come Reality. And today we all believe that these are all founders of educational institution, and we believe that we can have an amazing discussion. And today we will go through the discussion from the nursery school, primary school, junior school, secondary school, and tertiary institution, and the structure, how the structure also affected the human being and the society that we live in. And our first question that we need to ask Mr. Bajo about is, how do you see the structure of our education system, especially nursery school?
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Jawara, for asking that good question. In my opinion, the structure, we have different structures if you look at our government education system, because the structure was from during colonial time. We have a structure, and later on they change the structure, and they have it where we have it our primary structure, where we have primary 1, 2, 3 up to grade 12. But before we have primary school as well. But after primary school, they will decide whether you go to Form 1 or Form 2, Form 4. This is this is a structure that was operating in this country. Now, the question that you asked, if you look at the structure of our primary education in this country, you find it interesting that most of the kids are not having the information or necessary information that they should have, because in the Gambia or in our nursery school, people are not teaching people to think. People are, teachers or our structures, education structure are preparing our kids to read, not to think. Like if you go to nursery classes, you will find out that a teacher, will be teaching students, ABC, and try, by all means for that student to capture what he or she is, reading or telling them. And that's not the best way to teach the kids at that level. Because our nursery school, or let's say childhood development, is the foundation. If that is good, everything will be good. If that is bad, know that nothing can happen, because it's that where you prepare your children to be whatever you want him or her to be. Like if you go into our foundation called Education for Future Academy, we encourage people to develop the mind, develop their mind, feed their mind with good information, and give the practical work to them that will enhance their early childhood development, than trying to impose something to them, a book or something to them, some material to them for them to cram, and which is not a very good way of teaching them. So I think at the primary level we still are struggling, to better the education system. At that level, so we are still struggling to see what can change. Really, what we are seeing now is not really, especially at government institution, is not really promising. It's not really promising.
Yeah, what we are seeing is not really promising. And Honorable Bajo just said that our teachers, or most of our teachers, or even the structure of our education system, is to teach students to cram things, but not to think for themselves. And we also need to go ahead to introduce systems that can make students at the nursery level to think for themselves and to be trying to give them information that are very important. Now, concerning that answer, now we will also ask Mr. Jawara. Mr. Jawara, now, Mr. Bajo just said that we need to make nursery school students to think for themselves, or to try by all means and give information that are good for their health or their mindset as well. Now, can you finalize that? The nursery school level supposed to be a level wherein the students will be teach morals, ethics, and attitudes and the problem of the society, or in fact inculcating the law of their country to them.
Okay, thank you so much. That was a brilliant answer given by Mr. Baji, and I really agree with him because everything starts in the beginning, and the foundation matters a lot. Like he said earlier, the school system in the beginning, it teaches kids how to remember, but not how to think for themselves. So most of the time, I think that is a slavery way. You have to let someone to give their own opinion from the beginning, so they'll grow up with that kind of mindset. That's why you see, even in the society right now, a lot of people, they are not giving their own opinion. People give their own idea on their behalf because that was what they were taught since in the beginning. So I concur with what he said. I think that was a brilliant answer. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. It's a way of slavery wherein people will think and give opinion based on behalf of other things or what they are taught of. Now, our other question will be, Mr. Bajo, if you were the Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, what syllabus would you like for the nursery school student to do?
Well, I may not necessarily be the minister of basic and secondary education. Yeah, but really, if I have the opportunity to suggest something to the ministry or suggest something to the teachers or suggest something that will better the education system, will be, I mean we have to allow these kids to develop themselves. Yeah, we government should try to look at our education system and bring a policy that will cater for the material. Yeah, the material is something that will help the kids to develop. And materials is one of the challenges that kids are facing in this country. You will see a student going to school without a pencil, or you see a student going to school or without a paper, that he can use to develop something. And outside from material, we also talk about classroom spaces. I mean, how on earth do you expect a student, to learn in a class that you have almost 50 students in a class? The classroom size in this country is very small. It's very large to an extent that, like, you have 50 students in a class, one teacher. And that's something that's not realistic because the teacher cannot able to feed those kids their mind with necessary information that they need. So, in my opinion, I would suggest to the ministry or any authority that they should have assistant teachers in the class. When they have a class about 30 or 35 or 25, they need to have an assistant teacher where the teacher will be there, and we have another person that will be also in the class to assist teacher in what he is doing. Because you see some kids, will be in class, they are not listening. Some kids are in class, need special attention. So there should be somebody that will really help these people, in order to, get the information that they need. And the third point I would suggest also, the type of teachers that we are employing in the field also matters very well, because not everyone can teach the lower grade, because these are kids that need a special treatment. So if you don't prepare teachers very well, or if you want to employ teachers, or teachers wanted to be in the field for the sake of, okay, because I don't have a job, so I want to be a teacher, you don't have passion for it, definitely you cannot do the job. Like if you go to Education for Future Academy, we have 2 teachers per time. Okay, and this teacher, there will be teacher teaching, and we don't go to the blackboard most often to teach the kids about the information about A, B, C, about lizard or what. No, we don't do that. We have to show them how do you join this word in order to have this. So this is what we do. So I think we have to bring more innovation in our teaching than our previous way of teaching, to teach people about A, B, C or something. You don't force learning to the kids. So you allow them to, to develop themselves. Sometimes you can teach them 1 hour, and other time you give them maybe 2 hours to play with the material. Show them how to do this is better than feeding them with the material.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's wonderful. How you should join the world is very, very good statement that I heard from Mr. Bajo. Yeah, Mr. Abubakar Jawara also. We also have a question that you're supposed to answer because Mr. Bajo also dwell on many things that also need another answer. Now, concerning about the nursery school, ABC, Jolly Funds, and other stuff, we can see that it's a way of learning language, and we know that language cannot develop. Your mind can bring an idea that will initiate that can develop. But nursery school, you learn a language not to develop your mind, but to learn a language that you can speak. So, how can we develop the minds of the people in the nursery school than giving them a way of learning another language?
Thank you so much. I think the kids to communicate. Yeah, so Albert Einstein once said, everyone is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live his whole life believing that he's stupid.
Mhm.
So in this case, I think when you go to China, you find a kid at the age of 12 years can make a phone. And if you go to India, you find a kid at the age of 15 can run a supermarket because those kids were taught how to live without a paper, how to survive without a paper. But in Africa here, I think it's quite a little bit difficult because a lot of people think like without a school paper, they'll never make it in life. And I think we should more focus on practice theories than regurgitating and test taking. I think that doesn't make sense to me. So I think that's my suggestion.
Without a paper, you can live. I believe in that sense. Now, Mr. Bajo will also impose a question on you.
Okay.
That will be, now, what kind of education should we give it to them? As long as we need to change and remodify the system, what kind of education system should our music schools students need in order to develop the mind?
Yes, we should, in my opinion, I think we should teach these kids how to solve a problem. Yeah, that's the only way forward. Societal problems. If you look at our education system, I said it earlier on, they are only teaching us how to memorize, only teaching us how to read a book, but they are not really preparing our mind to develop or to move on our own without the teacher or without an institution. So if we have in a country like Gambia, which let's say the entire students or entire school in this country are teaching their kids how to become a reader, it's not good for the economy, it's not good for the country, it's not good for us. Because what happens is, if you give information, they will have it, as my colleague said, they will only memorize it. But now we are not encouraging that. We are encouraging kids to think for themselves, meaning government should provide material. Yes, building classrooms, putting furniture there is good. But now what is more important is the information that the kids are getting from the class is more important than those class materials. So therefore, I encourage authorities or our educational sector to think beyond the box. Let's encourage our nursery school, early childhood development, and now they call it. Let them be teaching them innovations. Let them teach them something that really kids can live without a parent. Kids can live without a support of somebody, So meaning we have to try by all means and teach them more practicals. Yeah, if I say practical, like you can come to class, you give them some paper where you leave kids with the pen, and they will really show you that okay, we have the talent and this is what we can do. Like drawing something can help kids, can help to develop their mind. Helping them, okay, you make a line, a straight line, allow all the kids to jump on their 1 feet, also will be good for their IQ also. Because you will know, in class of 20, okay, we have 20 kids in my class now, and all of them can jump with their 1 feet, almost 1 meter long. But one of them cannot do it because the mental balance is not there. So therefore, I think these are strategies or means that teachers can use in their classroom in order to make sure that the kids are at par. Because if the kids are not at the same level, it's difficult for you to teach them. So that's one thing that we do, and that's what thing that we encourage other schools to emulate. I mean, what is so amazing, or like what is so baffling to me, our Education for Future Academy is a foundation that opened 2 years ago, and we are doing so hard to make sure our kids that they are teaching will be thinkers. You see a students from other schools that we will invite, let's say grade 5, grade 4, they cannot able to read. It's a simple thing, or they cannot able to, differentiate letters, whereas you have students in our class that are, that are so young, like 4 years old, can able to identify these things, because this is how we develop them, and this is how we nurture them, and this is what should be done in all our school institutions, nursery institutions, in order for them to be better kids tomorrow. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, in brief, we need to develop the mindset of the people so that they can do something. And I will encourage all the parents that are listening to this program. They can take their children to Education for Future Academy so that at least they can think for themselves and they can develop their mindset. Still now we are on the education system, and still now we are in the same level, that is the nursery school level. Now we also ask Mr. Jawara. Mr. Jawara, now, the kids in different areas of the world right now, especially the developed world that they call, maybe they'll be engaged in practical aspect of life than cramming things in school. They'll be doing things that can be a practical aspect or vocational area. But in our context here, we will see people in class learning things, continue to learn things. Now, can we also introduce something, if resources are available, so that our people also can engage in the practical thing, give something to students, or nursery school students, they can do it with their mindset and lead them to create something for themselves.
Okay, they say you can force a horse to go to the river, but you can't force it to drink water. You see, the problem with the school system is that many people think that the answer is found in the book. But I think the answer is passion and compassion. And you cannot go in a classroom where you find one teacher standing in front of 30 kids, like he said earlier. And everyone have different needs. This one want to be a lawyer. This one want to be a doctor. This one want to be something else. And you stand in front of those 30 kids and you are teaching them the same thing every day. It's more like a doctor is giving a paracetamol to all of his patients. The result will be bad. So that's why we are facing all these kind of things, is because this system is not really helping the African nations. I think we have to change the system. I'm not saying that school is bad. School is not bad, but the system they are using, I think, is just creating people who can remember, but they cannot renovate anything at all, because the world has progressed. Now we need people who think creatively, critically, independently, with the ability to connect. Because every scientist will tell you that no two brains are the same. And everyone who have 2 kids will confirm that claim. I think we should focus more on practice theory for me. That's my idea. That's my take on that.
Yeah, no two brain is the same. I hope that is clear. Now, Mr. Bajo, we also have another question, and still on nursery school. Yeah, Mr. Jawara mentioned that they will be teaching people, or they will ask in them. And most of the case is practical. They will ask in, or they will ask all the students to get up. What do you want to be, president? What do you want to be, a doctor? At the same time, you are not teaching those people which idea they're supposed to use to be that doctor, or which idea they're supposed to do to create a medicine. And most of the case in the Gambia here, we import our medicines. Everything that we do, most majority, 99.9, we import it. And you want to be a doctor, you can teach that person to become a doctor by giving him something or her something that he can do and create medicine and do something. So, Mr. Bada, what kind of words or statement can you engage the ministry to do that? At least if a kid say that you want to be a doctor or even a president, what kind of idea they're supposed to give?
Yes, thank you so much. I think this question is boiled down to, what I previously said. The ministry or the authorities should make sure kids have enough material, learning material. I mean, not just books to read, but they need some materials. Let's say the kids in early childhood class, they need to have what we call a material that will, broaden their mind. Example of this material, if you ask me, I will say microscope. Yeah, if you see people will be in this country, they learn from grade 1 to 12, they never operate a microscope, they don't even know how microscope work. So and that is not good for our nation. I think what is important is if the ministry or or any authority can do it, or they should do it, to make sure they have more learning material for the kids, learning material that kids can play with. If it's about nursery school, if it's about early childhood development, if it's about primary school, let them have more material. This material will assist them, to be interacting with these the modern things that we have in the world. Let's say they have a microscope. You can have a day where kids will have chance, to look at the different type of specimen. They will have chance to look at let's say a fly and see why the fly is having this pose, and they can able to identify. Like if you go to our foundation, Education for Future Academy, we have this every Friday that we have open mind. This open mind class is like all the students will be there. You play with any material you want. At the end of the day, our teacher there will invite them to come and then operate a microscope, and each student will have chance to operate a microscope. Yeah, and they will see, and we will at some point will encourage them to and give a pen to them to identify what they saw in that microscope. And probably if they are used to that, and then when they get to university or higher learning soon, the things will be easier for them. So I encourage the ministry or authorities or any authority to, provide more learning materials for the kids. Not only book, pen or pencil, razor plate, but they need to have more materials that can broaden their mindset.
Yeah, the ministry should provide on board in the mind layer and fight. Mr. Abubakar, we also have another question that will be, in case of the students of nursery school, we believe that they need to be equipped and they need to have the knowledge that they supposed to have, because we see we need to catch them young. Now, catch them young, but still now we are not catching them young. That's why most of the adults in society think they are not problem. Now, can we say that catch them young should start from our nursery school? Because for us, we are not doing it.
It's very hard to fix a broken man, but it's very easy to raise a strong child right now, because a lot of youths, they already went astray and they're in darkness, because in the world we live is the world of information and system. So I think, like I said earlier, everything should be done on practice theory. And the education system, since kids are too young, is not only at school. And many people think like if they don't make it at school, they'll never make it. So I think the education system is even in the community, our parents, the way they communicate with us. Sometimes a child, what he needs is the affirmation language of the parents to tell them that I'm present. You find that your kid has failed on some certain level. You have to encourage them and tell them you can do better than that. But you don't have to discourage them to tell them you have no future, you are a failure. Because when you come into my dictionary, the word failure stands for first attempt in learning. So you don't have to feel bad on some certain level if you don't make it in your education system. Because you can have 30% in school system and you have 100% in the future.
30% in school system, 100% in the future. And you can also fix a broken mind. So it simply means our education system is broken in the minds of the young people and that are aging to the old age. Yeah, Mr. Bade, we also have another question that we supposed to ask you based on the primary level. The primary level, we are learning a lot of things. Still now, the story of Abu Sedikan is there.
Yeah.
Everybody is learning it. Can we also suggest the ministry that at least maybe every 5 years, they change the education system, at least new things can be learned. The history of our society can be learned. And the history of our Gambia also can be learned. Because the problem is, most of the things that are in our book are colonial heritage. So can you also have something to say about that?
Yes, thank you so much. I think, our education system is more or less the same from nursery school to primary school. The same thing that teachers taught us in primary school, nursery school. If you go to primary school, the same thing that they will teach. They will just modify it a little bit. If you look at our primary level, I mean, as I said at the beginning, you will see a teacher, teaching kids. Teachers are trying, but there's still room for improvement. I mean, you can see a teacher in the class. I mean, and there's a big noise in the class. You wonder whether teacher in fact is in the class or not. But this is not because teacher is not good, but this is because the information that they are teaching, kids are not really interested in the information that they are teaching. Yeah, and if the kids don't have anything to do, the best thing that they can do to dance, to talk to each other, and to shout in class, and unnecessary discussion that they will do. But I think I said, in all my deliberations, if I have platform anywhere, we are trying, but we should do the best thing, at our ministry level, at our education sector, because not necessarily to change the entire structure of education, because that was changed. If you look at since the colonial time, the education system that we are having, it was primary school, then Form 1, Form 2, Form 3. This is only teaching them, how to write or how to read a book. This is what is happening. Yeah, and those days they beat students and they force them to memorize, and actually they will memorize. You will see one of my professor told me, or doctor told me this. He said, there's one parliamentarian in this country, he will read one thing, in the assembly sitting. When they have a national assembly sitting, he have a paper that he memorized. Every sitting, this is what he reads. It's because people are training people to memorize, not to think for themselves, and which is unfortunate. So now, if you ask me what we should do at our primary level, when we have the Form 1 now is outdated. We have now the new education structure, which is, the primary level, we said 6-3-3. This 6-3-3 means you have 6 years in grade 1 to 6. You have 3 years in upper school and senior school. Now, these 6 years, you will see students will be in school for 6 years, only reading, Abu and Adama, and so on. And I think this is not good. This is not good. Reading is good. To be a good reader is good, but that will not help you. Now the world is moving. So I think our educational system or ministry should make more policies that will enhance kids, for better understanding in what is going in our society. Meaning they should teach them to solve a problem. Basically, this is what we said at our early discourse, the start of our discussion. They should try to give them something, to prepare their mind, for more difficult learning. Like if you are an engineer, or if you are in grade 1, you teach people how to construct a house. Sometimes you have to do that. Not only going to the blackboard, draw a fish for them, and ask them to draw, but give them the material and let them interact with it. That will be so helpful for them when they get to senior school or university level. Yeah,
that's one thing. Teachers are trying. We all know that teachers are trying every day, but the system is not the teachers. The system is there since long and still now is continuing, though they are reforming, but the same way is going on. So we need to change the total system so that we can do the practical aspect of it. Yeah, Mr. Abokat Dora, you also have another question that is in primary level also you'll be learning on the line. Is you will also have some diagrams that you cannot even understand. Going to junior school, you have the cleaner, spiral, jara, the spiders, you also have aardworm, all those things, and even zebra, and even lizard. We are cramming and cramming and naming all those stuff, labeling their parts. So labeling all those parts, we are not saying that they are not important, but in the context of Gambian people that need to develop, I hope we need to bring problems that are in our society for people to know, and they have a suggested solution to those things. Then learning those things, labeling them, and passing exam with these, and we call them outstanding students. At the end of the day, they cannot solve problems, even one problem of our society. Now, what can we do within that system?
Great students in remembering, not in thinking. because the 6 legs a mosquito have nothing to do with my future.
Yes, sir.
On that case, because the same book that my grandfather has been studying is the same book they taught my father, is the same book they taught me, and they want me to make change. So what I'm gonna say here is that old keys will never open new doors. If you want change, you have to change how you move, how you think. And we have been working on the same system for centuries now. And we are complaining and complaining. We have to put action. I think that's the only way we can change. And Africans complain a lot. We have to work hard. Ujama. Swahili say ujama. We have to work together.
Yeah.
Yeah, all keys will not open a new door. We all know that what that means. That's even the old system will not bring another development for our people. Then we will have a short commercial break. Then when we come back, we will continue with our amazing discussion here with us, SS Media.
Do you have a dream of becoming a video editor, graphic designer, or WordPress web developer? Our digital skills training courses at skills.gm will help you in making your dreams a reality. We provide intensive hands-on courses that can help you harness the creativity in you. Our video editing course will enable you to create professional videos for home, work, or for social media handles. Being a graphic designer is among the most rewarding digital skills nowadays. We will help you acquire relevant design skills to enable you to design and manipulate pixel-based images and vector graphics for print and display. Almost every business wants to have an online presence in this digital era. We will guide you on how to create secured and professional-looking websites, blogs, and online stores. We encourage our students to engage in innovative, critical thinking, coupled with collaborative learning concepts and projects. For more information, visit us at Mall of Gambia, Bakote, office number 18, or call 7048-155, or visit our website at www.skills.gm/training.
Ise wafir la killing bëgg a jënd ci yow.
Come back from that short commercial break. We are back here with our gentlemen, Mr. Bajo and Mr. Jawara. We are going to continue with our discussion on the topic called the structure of our education system. Till now, we are going on, but we are going to start with senior secondary level, how the structure of senior secondary level is and how it affects most of the students. And our first question, we would like to ask Mr. Baja about it. Yeah, because we have different areas of senior secondary school. For senior secondary school, it's different components. We have the commerce field, we have the arts field, we have the science field, and now also we have technical and agriculture. because just currently they are introducing the agricultural area. And we have four fields now, I can say, in the Gambia. That is commerce, science, arts, agriculture, and technical. Now, in the case of those areas, people will be like, if I study arts, I'll be a journalist, or I want to be a leader if I study arts. If I study commerce, I will be a businessman. I will open my business and other stuff. If I study science, I'll be a scientist, an engineer, a doctor. Most of the case, a doctor, then they're here. And technical area, most of the people they don't engage in. You either force them to do technical. Most of the case, those who got a bad result in junior school are the one that they forced to join technical. In agriculture also, right now also, most of the case, those who have bad results are the people that they force to join agricultural field. And I can say technical and agricultural areas, these are the very crucial areas that every Gambian should learn
Yes.
to do better in life. Now, what are some of the statements that you will share with the audience and listeners concerning that?
Yes, thank you so much. I think, firstly, I have to commend the ministry or whoever is behind the introduction of agriculture as a course in our school curriculum, and also technical as well, because this is what we need. You know, in this country, Gambia, I mean, we are developing, so we don't need certain things. We don't need them. You know, certain courses that we are doing that are in our school curriculum is not needed. Yeah, business, you know, BM studies is good. It's a good thing, but agriculture for now is better for us than this business study that we're talking about. Yeah, I learned that not long ago the ministry or the authorities also they are introducing entrepreneurship as a course, like to be part of the school curriculum, which is wonderful. This is what we need, you know, because Gambia, if you look at it, 90% of our food, or let's say 100% of our food that we consume in this country is coming from outside. From where? Western world. And we have land, we have water. I mean, we have everything, you know, that is available in order to grow our own food. But unfortunately, we cannot do this because the way they teach us in school, they teach us that agriculture is bad, agriculture is not good. Only failed people can join the crusade, and which is unfortunate. But I'm glad that the ministry or the school management now has introduced this course to the to our curriculum. One thing I want to state, I want to make it clear that we cannot develop without these practical courses. I mean, if you look at our secondary education, I mean, I said teachers are trying. I mean, teachers are our people. I mean, we love them. They are our brothers and sisters. But most of the teachers join the field because they don't have the better job. In this country, if every teacher you see in this country, when they have the better offer for any ministry or any institution or industry, he will leave teaching. This is how bad our education system is. Despite the fact that we recognize the effort that the ministry and other educational sectors are doing in this country, but because people that are engaged into it, they don't have passion for it. That is why, who cares? They do not care, and they will not be cared. Because, I mean, if you have passion for something, that's where you take 100% seriousness into it. That's where you give your 100%. So I feel like, I mean, the ministry should look into our education system, you know, seriously. I mean, and treat them seriously. I mean, if you look at our education system, our secondary, senior school secondary education system, you will see totally that we are still teaching, or they taught us how to pass an exam. All of us are prepared to have a wax exam and make sure that I have at least 5 credit in English, math, and English so that I can go to university or college. At the end of the day, I can have a work. But no student can leave university, can leave secondary school and solve a societal problem. And this is so shame on our sectors, you know, that are involved in our that surround our education. I mean, by now, our senior school students can solve a societal problem for themselves. You know, it's not going to be like we prepared them, you know, for university. Yes, university and college are good, but all of us know that all of the students cannot get into the university. But perhaps if you give them technical training like agriculture, you know, they can go to school of agriculture, or if they don't go to college, but they can do their own farming, which they can have an income, and that will help the society. if they do this designing, architectural design and all those things, they also can have chance to do something, and that will help their family and the GDP of the country. So introduction of these two courses or technical courses is commendable, but we still need to do more. The system should be changed from teaching to give, to prepare. The system should be prepared in such a way that not to force people to learn, but to think, beyond the box, so that when they have chance to be in the society, they can easily excel, without educational learning or without the college education. So this is what I have to say. Yeah.
Yeah, it is very recommendable to thank the ministry or any other person that is behind thinking of some of the system to bring agriculture as a field, to bring technical as a field. And I can say these are the areas that every citizen should learn, or every student, in fact, should learn and have a knowledge about these areas. Because technical areas, agricultural areas, these two areas are the very crucial and important and vital areas that can move any country. Any country that is not engaging in technical area, agricultural area, still now you are lacking behind. Yeah, with that, I will also engage Mr. Abubakar Jawara. Abubakar, we know that there is agriculture as a field and technical as a field, but now many of us are not engaging in technical, and some also are not engaging in agriculture as a field, because the belief is that, or the mindset is that, and those are the things that inculcated and instill us when we are young. Agriculture is only for people. I don't know whether it's a target from the Western world to hide the reality of life from us. So inculcate a mindset that agriculture is for poor people, wherein without agriculture we cannot survive. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, I think we have a lot of, like you say, technical and agriculture since in the beginning of educational system. So they taught us, if you don't, even the way we dress, they always show you how to dress at school. They tell you what to dress. So a lot of people think like if you don't wear a suit and a necktie, then you are not on good position. So that's why a lot of people are avoiding agriculture to focus on that area. But there's a lot of way you can get to the top, because 8 plus 2 is 10, 5 plus 5 is 10, 6 plus 4 is 10. So there's a different ways we can get you to 10. It's not only one way. So I think a lot of people should focus more on different viral places whereby we can develop the country. Even for example, when you go on TikTok, you find Chinese. When you open their page, they have something to show you, like technology and a lot of things. When you go on white people's page too, they have something to show you. Believe me, if you open African TikTok pages, they are all dancers. They have nothing to show you because they have nothing to display. They were taught nothing. So this is painful, man. Yeah.
Yeah, we are taught nothing. That's why we cannot show nothing at the end of the day. Yes, we are all here and we are hearing from the two gentlemen. They are telling the reality of life, and they are also explaining how bad the education system is and how good the education system also is. Now, we also have another question to impose on Mr. Bajo. Mr. Bajo, we all know that agriculture is a field now. Technical also is a field. But now, agriculture as a subject, at least should be a compulsory to both students that are going to school, because we cannot go without agriculture. Whether you are an art student, you need to learn basic knowledge of agriculture, at least from maybe grade 10 up to grade 12. Commerce student, you need to have agriculture from grade 12, from grade 10 up to grade 12. At least with that knowledge, I believe we can move on.
Yes, thank you so much. If I have it on my way, agriculture is supposed to be a compulsory, even at a nursing school, because this is what will help us to develop. If you look at it, countries that are developing so fast or that are already developed, like America, China, and so on, those countries, they have already feed themselves. They have food. They are not thinking of food now. And this part of the country, unfortunately, we are still thinking of how to put something in our stomach. So therefore, the authorities, they should make this subject a compulsory. I mean, some of the subject they make compulsory. Agriculture are better than us, to us than those subjects. So I think what we are doing in our foundation, that's what we encourage people to do. We don't only challenge people, but we provide solutions. We teach our students, nursery students, how, and what do you need for you to grow a tree? Because now people are living from an era of planting trees, because if you plant, you may leave it or die. But now people are talking about how to grow a tree, because if you plant one tree, you have to nurture that, because it will be waste of resources. You plant 20,000 seedlings, at the end of the day, nothing is good. Everything will die later. So, but we have to help. We have to help people to know how you can grow and how you can nurture that particular tree. And this is what we are doing. So each kit, what we do is we will give you a plant. It's part of our lesson days in 5 days that we give you a plant and show you, the number of days that this plant will take to mature from day one. And we'll also show you how that you need for this plant to develop, and to have its fruit. So this is what we should be doing in our schools. That's why we said we should not be only preparing kids, or we should not only be preparing our youths to read. Reading is good. Good English, to speak good English is good. It's commendable. But what is more important is to see a problem in the society and be able to solve those problems. If you have this in our society, then we are good to go. But what we are seeing so far, our educational curriculums are teaching us to be readers, to be people that can memorize. Like myself, I think I can memorize a whole book, within a day. Because if I want to have an exam, like for instance, university, if you're about to have an exam, if I sit on a book, I can memorize it and put it on the paper, and when I step out of the door, everything will finish. So therefore, I mean, they need to have, more technical subjects, woodwork, carpentry work. It's so sad if you look at this country. Every chair is prepared in this country, either from abroad or is prepared by Senegalese. It's unfortunate. If you look at our other industries as well, agriculture, the same thing. Even vegetable, a mere vegetable is coming from outside. Although farmers are trying, but the way and the manner we are doing in this country, if we don't change it, we are not going anywhere because of the education system. Yeah, because the education system will teach you what you want. Because you cannot be graduating from Gambia senior secondary school or Yusuf High School, and you are still begging for work. I think with these courses will help people to, maneuver, in life. I can have my agricultural garden if you are from grade 12. What are some of the ingredients, what are some of the things you need for your plant to grow. You can do it and then have your own garden and have your own money. You don't depend on somebody. Woodwork as well. If you do woodwork, you may need to go to college also, but at least you can do, some work at your house and then you make money out of it. So this is what we need to do. And I said at the beginning of this conversation, we need to develop builders, because Gambia, we are developing. Like, we need to build a structure. There's no structure. So we need to build a structure. We need to be developers. Other countries that we are looking at, US, German, and all those countries, they are developed already. So now they can think of, other side of the coin. But for us, the coin that we should be looking at, how to prepare people to solve the problem in our society. And this is what Western people, left us behind, because they have developed kids that can really think and solve a problem. As he said, my colleague, you open YouTube, you see, kids in China preparing, mobile phones, preparing some things. You open the TikTok of, Europe and others, you see kids, they are doing something. But if you open our TikTok, even adults, the first thing that will bump you is an insult. People are insulting each other, and it's unfortunate. There are good people on TikTok also that are enlightening people, that are teaching people, but the more of it is not good. It's toxic for our society. Yeah.
Agriculture should be compulsory. We all had that one together. At the end of the day, also, we need to feed ourselves first, then focus on other areas. But we are not able to feed ourselves. How can we focus on other areas? Because we believe that the area that's supposed to feed us are for the poor. And still now, either the poor or the rich, we all need food. That's why we all need that area. That means agriculture should be compulsory. Either you are a student of arts, commerce, science, or whatever, or technical, agriculture should be compulsory. And technical area also, woodwork, carpentry, metalwork, TV, all those things should be compulsory because these are the things that compose our life. You cannot go without all those things because the mic we are holding is technical area, the chairs, the table, whatever that we move with is all based on technical area. But thank God we are seeing changes in other schools that are introducing subjects like entrepreneurship, insurance, marketing, TD, you have IT as a core subject, and you also have engineering as a core subject, electricity as a core subject. These are the areas that we need to engage on. If we should engage on all these areas, these technical areas, we will develop because development cannot go without all these things. Yeah. I hope that is clear, and I hope the ministry also will take a look and have alternatives that they can change the system within a short period. Abubakar, we also have another question that we're supposed to ask you concerning about our senior secondary education. Now, looking at our structure, we start from nursery school. Nursery school, at least you spend 2 or 3 years in nursery school. You come to primary level, you have 6 years there. You come to junior school, you have 3 years. Senior school, you have 3 years. Although you spend 15 years of your age in school. If I told that we have a sector that is only offering for technical area, and you are learning technical area and some certain basic language, because language cannot develop your own language. If I told that you have sense, without going to school, you can do something. So we push language aside. So 15 years in technical area, I believe that we have more development than spending 12 years in school, still now begging for them. What are your take on that?
Okay, I think we don't need a light at the end of the tunnel. We need to go with a light in the beginning. Yeah. We don't need any darkness in the beginning. I think that's one thing that put us astray, because we have this hope that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. We don't need that nonsense anymore. We need to carry a light in the beginning. According to the law of cookery, you need to know something in everything. So, like he said earlier, you find that the students, they don't know even how to transplant the trees and other stuff. So these are the things they'll teach you at school: the stem, the roots, the fruits. But they don't tell you the importance of the tree. Yeah. They have to tell you the importance of something and the value of it. And I think they should even start teaching kids, a lot of kids, about finance. Because I think this is one of the things many people struggle with after school, not only after school, in daily life. Many people don't understand how finance works. And that's what is more important too, and agriculture, as he said. So I think that's my take on that.
Yeah, that's wonderful. We need to teach our people at a basic level where they can learn finance. And we need to go with the light to the tunnel, not at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, that's very important. And we are also moving towards another level, that is the new subject that they introduced, that is civic education. And we believe that civic education is here to change the attitudes and the minds of the people toward national development, to have a good ethics, to have moral, and to have a love for your own country and love for other people as well. So this subject is very important, but many are taking it slightly because they think it's a job. And those who didn't know also will say that before introducing civic education, they need to bring another thing. But I believe that without civic education, all the things that they are doing will become zero, because the attitude matters. So changing the attitude, I hope that is the most important thing. But they introduce civic education in senior secondary school to change the minds of the people. But we believe that you only catch them when they are young. Yeah. So to catch them when they are, I can say, at the old age, it becomes problem. Yeah. So what are your take on that? Either civic education introduced at the nursery school level, in fact, that will be the best.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Jawara. Civic education, in my opinion, it's not bad. It's good to teach people, your country. It's good to teach people about, the morals. It's good to teach people about the law of the land, and their responsibility as a citizen. I think this is very important, and this should what the authorities should introduce at the early childhood development. because I mean, Gambia, if you place Gambia in one hand, you place United States in other hand. I mean, you ask Gambian to choose. 99.9% of the Gambian will choose United States over America. If you choose any of the Western country, you place any of the Western country to Gambian and ask them to choose, they will choose Western country over their country. This is because mostly we feel like we can't make it in this country, and because people are not aware how important to be a citizen of your country and what's your right, what's not your right. I think it's important. But as I said, what is more important is what we will put in our stomach and what we can make to develop. Yeah, these fields are all good. I mean, commerce, and all those fields, they are very important. But this country, the problem that we have, everybody want to put a tire and sit in a vehicle and go to the bank and come back. Yeah, sometimes people will ask you, what's your field of study? You tell them I study agriculture. I mean, they'll say, okay, all right. But if you tell them that I'm working at the bank, they'll say, oh, that's very good. You see the problem. So the mentality is like we should sit at the bank, and that's not good for this country. We don't need it. What we need now is practical knowledge in order to develop ourselves. And one thing I want to tell you for free: if you study agriculture, you can work in any sector in this world. Yeah, because agriculture composed of a lot of things. You can be engineer if you want to study agriculture. You can be even a doctor if you want to. A medical doctor, I mean, because there's a course that they call, agricultural health. That will only talk about health of a farmer, and if farmer got injured, what can be done. I think these are commendable. I commend the ministry for bringing this initiative to have agriculture in our curriculum, and also all these technical courses, because that's what will make us develop. And for the question that you asked for people to have these other courses that you mentioned, civic education is good, and it should be introduced at a nursery level or early childhood development level, so that kids will know the responsibility they have as citizens, and also they will have the love of the country. But I hope and pray that they will not only teach them about what they want. This is what the people do. Tell them the truth. Yeah, the truth must be told to them. Tell them their right. What is the responsibility of the government for those kids? Teaching civic education, you are only telling them what favors you or what favors government. You have to tell them across what is their responsibility towards the government, and what is their government response towards them, and what is their response towards society. If this happens, I think this will also help in our education sector. Thank you.
That's very important. They need to know the rights and the responsibility. When they know the right, they need to know the responsibility. For most of the kids, we know our right, but we don't know our responsibility. We know that this is the job of government, but we don't know our job as well, that we're supposed to do in order to develop this nation. And we all have a role to play in order to develop this nation, because those that are in the government position, the government is just only a name. They are composed of people, like our brothers, our sisters, our fathers, and our uncles. So we all have a role to play. Concerning civic education, still now we are on. That is the responsibility of the people. Still now, Abubakar, we also have a question for you. How can the students and the youth at large contribute in acquiring their education? How can they contribute towards national education?
Okay, like I said earlier, it's easy to raise a strong kid than to fix a broken man. So I think a lot of people were not taught about how to maintain their attitude since at the young age. Now, when they reach some certain age, it's quite very difficult for them to operate, because it becomes more heavy for them in their heart, more like they are carrying a rod. So I think when you are in Rome, you should become a Roman. So if, for example, a foreigner come in this country and they see what other Gambians are doing, he will operate on that area too, because he see it from them. So many people, what they don't realize is that a lot of people outside, what they are doing, they see it from Gambians, or they see it from South African, they see it from Senegalese. In any nation you want, they see it from you, because you are the mirror to those people. So I think the attitude matters. Like I say, a lot of people lack the affirmation of love from the society, from the parenting home, and from school. You find sometimes a kid dream past some certain level, or they misbehave in some certain level, they start calling them names. And that used to cause self-esteem at times. Yeah.
Yeah, when you are at Rome, you should be a Roman. It simply means now when you are in Gambia, also you should be a Gambian. And what a Gambian is doing, if a Senegalese come here, is the same thing that the Senegalese will do, either bad or good. With that, we are going to the main thing, that is our worst areas. We also need to touch the worst areas, because we all know that Gambians, we are taught to pass exam, most of the case, but we are not taught to solve the societal problem. So in that case, most of the Gambian students will be prepared for exam. After exam, they cannot remember whatever they learn in class. So, Mr. Baj, can we also change the education system, not completely, but to have more of societal problems? Because we all know that society is full of problems.
Yes.
The country is full of problems, and we need solutions to that. And those problems are not included, or they are not embodied in our book.
Yeah.
Then how can we try by all means and draft something that will be societal problem, and it will be solved by the students after graduating from school?
Yes, thank you so much. I think our authorities need to change their approach of bringing curriculum to the students. The approach should be student top approach, not top student approach. Because if the authorities sit at the corner to say, I think it's good for us to introduce this particular subject, but is the students in that particular school or particular country are interested in that subject? What problem will that subject will solve? These are things that they need to ask themselves before introducing that. I don't know whether because I did not work for education, I do not know whether they are doing that or not. But when they are not doing that, this is what they should do. They should do from, bottom top approach, where they consult from the students, from the rumors that they hear, what subject, kids are more interested in, what subject, will help to develop this country more than the other subject, and then they introduce those one. As we comment them earlier on, we still continue doing that, because that is, I feel like, it's a good thing. It's a good step, one step forward. To make sure we have technical subjects, to make sure we have agricultural subject and other, subject that can solve societal problems. As I said, Gambia, we are hungry. That's the hard fact. And a country that is hungry, the people of that country are bound to be angry. That is why if you are driving, in this road from Westfield to Banjul, if you don't receive 10 insults, then you are lucky on that day, or you are somebody that is more careful than everybody. That is not because people are that is not people are bad, but it's because everyone is frustrated. Just little thing. Even if you flash a driver, he will pull you up. So these are something that we should work on. So I think our sectors, all sectors, the agriculture, our education. Today we are talking about education. Our education sectors should make sure they introduce a learning that will, be there to solve our societal problems. They will look at the problems. Let's say feeding is our problem. We don't have food. How do we change this problem? The narrative can be changed even at senior school level. Teach them something that is realistic. You cannot teach us leaf. You can't teach us roots. You can't teach us, STEM. And I know STEM, but you don't teach us how to grow a tree. That is unfortunate. Don't give me a chance to grow a tree. It's unfortunate. Or you go to, let me say, a technical side, woodwork. When I was in my school, you go to woodwork. A woodwork teacher will draw an entire wood, a table inside on the board, and will ask you to draw. We'll draw, but we'll never have chance to have that art, or to have that how do we call it sequel, to also do something, at least to show that we are practicalizing what we are learning. So this is what we should change. And pertaining to our work results, some time ago, I think this is 2021, when the results was very bad. Everybody was shouting, the resource teachers are not teaching, but those teachers are not only problem. The problem is not only from teachers. You cannot employ a teacher without a good salary, without the resources, and expecting to teach your kids as expected. You don't ask yourself. You ask yourself why the top ranking officers in this world doesn't send their school to public schools, because they know the problem. The problems they know. That's why they are not there. Because you don't expect to rule us, and your daughters are in international schools. It's unfair. Yeah. So our education system, when we want our education system to be good, our authorities, or me and you, should have faith in our education system. Send our kids to public schools, so that your father that is in a responsible position, administrative position, will have the nerves, to think positive, because you know that if this school is affected, my kids will be affected one way or the other. So if you look at that, Buruhaha at the time, people are saying the resource is bad. Yes, but there are a lot of factors. Now our education system also is spoiled to a level that nobody knows. You don't dare to even shout on a kid, grade one, talk less of grade 12 student. Grade 12 student, if you hit grade 12 student, he will slap you as a teacher. So there's no model in our school. People are not teaching, models in school, and people are not teachers, and the education system are not training students to be. Let me put this: they are not training kids to be responsible. Yeah. So the parents, they contribute for the failures of our students. Teachers contributed, and our ministries also that are responsible also contributed to the failure of the students. This is why it will be difficult if you will leave grade 12 without going to without having a work or without going to the college. It will be difficult for you to succeed in this country, because you don't have anything to do. The only thing, because you cannot go out there, you want to draw things and people will pay you. Yes, that technical drawing is good, but like woodwork, those are not things that you should be drawing. You should give them the material, let them do it for themselves, so that we can have something out of that. So basically, our results from the examination results, this year is yet to be out, but last year it's fair. Year before that it was bad. So I think parents should do something, to encourage their kids to learn more. The education system should be better for the kids, and the ministry should put in more resources, because education is expensive. It's as expensive as anything you can think of. So, they should invest into education, give them material, and teach people what they are interested in. If I'm interested in agriculture, teach us agricultural subject. If I'm interested in nursing, teach us that subject, so that, kids can have desired results. And now, totally results in proper. If you look at it, if I'm in grade 12, I will spend the entire night reading. My purpose is I want to have maths and English, including any two credits, so that if I can go to college, I can have a job. That's the only thing. This is how they teach us. And even teachers, they are giving you a test. A teacher is giving you a test. I don't know what type of test is that. Teacher is giving you a test that he give you a test that you can memorize. He don't set a question that you can think and write something. Yeah, I think this what should be encouraged. Students should provide the same answer. The same answers, and that's unfortunate. Like you can tell us, state 10 type of this. You have to read from the book and state it. Why not you frame a question in a way that that student will think out of the box and write something for himself. You also can write something for yourself. That will better the society, and that will make people easy to pass easily. But even this question, sometimes if you read some question, you think that they're asking questions from the other world, no, not in this world. So it will be difficult for students to pass exam. The parents are responsible in terms of how they are monitoring their kids at home. Teachers are responsible. Some teachers don't care, because they are not passionate of teaching. They just want to be there so that they can have salaries enough more. They are salary takers. If you discipline a kid in school, it's a problem now. So, and the government also is not providing enough materials for the students to pass exam. So this is the whole lot of things.
Yeah, those are very good information that everybody should take. So today here, we would like to thank our guests, Mr. Bajo, Mr. Abubakar Jawara, and my humble self here. So this is the end of our program. We all know that there is a lot of things to see, because we don't even reach at the university level, neither the society. We just do the degree, nursery, primary, junior school, and senior secondary school. We have a lot more to see. And I believe that next time, if we should call these two guests here, they will humbly come, and so that many of us that are ignorant about the system that is in place, that is affecting many youths about their future. But before going also, we need to give mic to them, so that they can also give their remarks to those that are outside there, and so that they can also motivate them and be better in their various life. I will start that one from Abubakar, then go Mr. Bado.
Okay, thank you so much. It was a honor being here. And I would like to tell everyone it's never too late. You cannot go back and change your past, but you can start now and change your future. If something didn't work today, it will work out tomorrow. You don't have to close the book, turn off. There's always something to write on the next page. And I'm telling everyone outside there, there's a lot of things to do, and everything starts from here. There's no enemy outside. I repeat, there's no enemy outside. The enemy is always here. Here is the industry of what you produce in daily basis. And there's a lot of people in the clinic there crying, begging God to have the opportunity you are having right now to make a change out there. And the only way to succeed is not only school. Yeah.
Yeah, the only way to succeed is not only school, but I believe there's many alternatives. Then we will also give a chance to Mr. Usman Bajo to give a remarks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jawara. Thank you, Mr. Buakar, for coming. And I am pleased to be here. And I'm also grateful that you invite me in this program. And my institution, which is Education for Future Academy, with our partners, are so much grateful to be part of this program. And we thank them for the support that they are giving in this country to make so, kids' life is better than before. What I will wrap up is that myself is an example. Any youth of this country should not say, I failed senior school, so therefore I cannot make it. No, everybody can make it, regardless of your results. What matters is the seriousness you have in you, is the passion you have, and you follow it, and there you go, you will get it what you want. Because if you don't have passion for something, forget it. That is why I will encourage our ministries or government to at least look into the payment of these teachers. Because if you pay teachers good, teachers are able to buy vehicles for themselves, they're able to build house for themselves. That will motivate them to stay in the system. All the good teachers will stay, but it's fortunate that all the good teachers are willing to leave, today, because if they have a better offer from somewhere, they will leave the teaching. So this mobilization also will help for teachers to stay. So I encourage them to do that, and I encourage my fellow youths to focus on learning, and especially practical learning. That's what will solve the problem of this country. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Bajo and Mr. Jawara. I hope the government will hear us out to increase the salary of the teachers so that many good teachers can stay in the teaching field. And today here with me, as I said earlier, I have Mr. Jawara and Mr. Bajo with me. And here is the ending of the program. And my name is Usman. Join us another episode of our educational system next Wednesday. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.